Hello, my name is Denzel Jones, director of such films as Peter Pan Gets a Job and Noddy Gets Run Over. Today on Board Deck and Dice we are looking at Forbidden Island. Forbidden Island is a co-op game from Matt Leacock, and it is kind of a precursor to what I call the pandemic system. As you play Forbidden Island, you'll start to see the elements that were then drawn out and used in Pandemic. On Forbidden Island you have a board made up from these tiles. I've only put 4 out just as a quick demonstration, but you'll make a much bigger board with these tiles. And there are some important tiles. Some of them will tell you which colour piece starts on that tile. So we have the blue one starting here, the yellow one starting here, so in a game they would start there. And these ones are ones where you can claim treasures for handing in 4 of each card of that type. Each character has a different power. The yellow can move another player 2 tiles. The red can shore up 2 tiles for 1 action. And on your go, you will get 3 actions. You will draw 2 treasure cards, and then you will draw flood cards equal to the flood level. The actions you can take are to move, to shore up, so if 1 tile is flooded you can flip it back over to shore it up, give a treasure card to another player on the same tile as you, or capture a treasure by handing in 4 cards as we mentioned. When you set up you will draw 6 cards off the flood deck to show you which 6 tiles are going to start flooded, and then you will start taking your goes. At the end of your turn, when a flood tile comes out, you simply flip that tile. If it is already flooded, like this Cave of Shadows was like that, and the Cave of Shadows cards came out, that will be removed from the game. If you lose both of the treasure cards of one type before you have collected that treasure, you have lost the game. If you lose Fool's Landing, the helicopter, which is your only exit off the island, you have lost the game if that sinks. The treasure deck has a number of different types of cards. First are treasure cards, so we have the flame and the cup treasure cards, and you will need 4 of those to claim a treasure, and there are only 5 of each in the deck, and also you have a 5 card hand limit, so you're going to have to make some difficult decisions about which cards you keep and who goes for which treasure. Other cards in there are power-up cards. The helicopter card lets you can use at any time, so you can get someone else out of a sticky situation. And you can move people to any other tile on the board. Also, you need one of these to win, so you need to bear in mind that you don't just win for getting to Fool's Landing. One of you has to have one of these cards. The other power-up is the sandbag, which lets you shore up from anywhere on the island. That's handy if an important location comes up. But the other card that comes up in here is not that one. That's good setup. There we go, Water's Rise. Now Water's Rise does a number of different things. Firstly, it moves the flood level, the water level up 1 mark. So you can start on novice if you wish, and then you go up to there. And this dictates how many flood cards you draw at the end of each round. So while it's here, you draw 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. The other thing you do is take any discarded flood cards, so flood cards that are generally already flooded in the discard pile, you shuffle them up and you put them back on top, so those ones are likely to come out again. So it's really important to shore up the locations you want, otherwise they will go out of the game. Then you discard this card to the treasure pile and you carry on playing. Once you have got all 4 treasures, got to the Fool's Landing and set off, then you have won the game. If Fool's Landing sinks, you lose the game. If the treasure tiles sink when you haven't got that treasure, you lose the game. Forbidden Island is you can see where Pandemic came from when you play this game. The flood level marker is familiar for anyone who's played Pandemic with I can't quite remember what it's called, but the kind of outbreak, is it the outbreak deck or the tracker on the top that moves up every time you get the equivalent of the Water's Rise card out? You can see where the inspiration came from. Pandemic is also a better game than Forbidden Island. Everything's been smoothed out, it all plays on the board. The use of the cubes for diseases is essentially the same. You're still going for 4 things which you need the cards for, but there's more worked into it, and it feels like more is at stake. So is there any reason to have Forbidden Island in your collection if you have Pandemic? I think that depends on the age of your family. For younger kids, this one is easier, it is brighter, more colourful, it is a better theme for the younger kids. So this is a good game and a good introduction to the kind of Pandemic system, especially if co-ops are things you want your family to focus on, then this is going to be great because it's going to get them into that Pandemic system. There's also Forbidden Desert, which then puts another level of complications on top of things. So yeah, it's not going to be for everyone, especially people who've already got Pandemic, but for a lighter Pandemic system, this is quite good. Intimidation factor, it's all colourful and these are necessary pieces, but they're there. The tiles are great, not much of an intimidation factor. The rules are clear, they make sense. If you're playing with younger children, you might have to explain them all the time, but the roll cards do have everything broken down on the back, so they're really good. And it is a lot of fun, like I say, but I also have Pandemic, so it's probably not one I would keep in my collection. I've got other things to play with my family. I certainly wouldn't buy it just to have a Pandemic system for my son to play. This is my brother's copy, by the way. But again, if you have that family situation, it's a good game to play. I've been Denzel, can't remember, just Denzel, just call me Denzel. And this has been Board, Deck and Dice. Thank you very much for watching.